Alright, folks, it's Slangin The Bizkit here, episode 41. We're looking at approximately plus 8 degrees here in beautiful Varberg, Sweden. We're going to be taking a train about 3 hours down to the east of Stockholm. And sit back and enjoy the ride there. All flight crew prepare for takeoff. How was that? Is that pretty good?
I think so. Is that Swedish?
No, it was just like flight attendant. I saw this like TikTok the other day of like,
thank you for traveling.
Flight attendants, you take the mic, you put it like right in your mouth, you sound just like a flight attendant.
Thank you for traveling.
Thank you for traveling.
Hi, thank you for flying Delta. It is sunny and 75 here in Madison, Wisconsin. Thank you guys for choosing Delta.
Thank you for choosing Delta. Yeah, like we had any other choice. You guys are just the cheapest.
Yeah.
You know what I really like is Family Guy, Ollie Williams, and Tom Tucker's like, and to Ollie Williams with the weather report. What's it looking like there, Ollie? It's raining cats and dogs. Thanks, Ollie.
That's beautiful. Well, that's our intro. Welcome back to Slangin The Bizkit.
Episode 41. Thank you as always for joining us on your favorite hockey podcast that rarely ever talks about hockey. In fact, we do the opposite. We don't talk almost any hockey on this podcast, which is why it's great to be with you. Accompanied by my co-host, Pat Shea. You know him. He's the good-looking guy on the internet, on your YouTube home screen, on your recommended tab. He plays in the East Coast for the Maine Mariners. Also, a couple people were very confused. People think that you and I play on the same team. I want to clarify. Pat plays for the Maine Mariners in the East Coast Hockey League. I played past tense for the VIU Mariners in the BCIHL, the BC Intercollegiate Hockey League, once upon a time. I was the third-string practice goalie. Pat is sniping Genos and breaking faces on the fourth line for the Mariners.
I am not on the fourth line.
Third line.
No. We don't have a fourth line. One, so. Actually, you know what's crazy about the coast is, like, because of so many, like, guys going up, down, and around, like, one day I'll be third line or, like, extra forward. Another game I'll be first line center. It's like... It's wild, man. I don't know what to expect when I go to the rink. I'm like, I'm either going to be the extra forward or, the first line center. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, coach calls you into the office. You're thinking, yes, this could be really good or really bad. Coach, how you doing? Today. And then he tells you, so our first, second, and third line center all tested positive for the sniffles. Also, our water boy is down, and our guy managing the gate for letting in season ticket holders is. So how do you feel about working all 5 positions tonight?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Sounds
I'll
good.
drive the Zamboni, too. It's great.
Can you imagine that? You run to the locker room, throw your skate guards on, come out, and you're just ripping around the bony. Dude, you got the T-shirt gun cannon, just firing the thing off there.
Dude, yeah, I'd be a great Zamboni rider. Driver.
No, the T-shirt cannon too. You got to shoot off T-shirts into the upper deck.
Yeah. No, I should start that, dude. Like, be like the player, coach, GM, Zamboni driver.
Jackie Moon,
except he doesn't drive Zambonis on the basketball court. That's like, That's the big difference. That's my shtick. So.
Jackie Travel. Come on, 1.5 steps. Jackie, you walked. Suck my cock. I'll murder your family. Boots the ball in the stands. Next time, that's your head. That's your head next time. You're a big baby, Jackie.
I watched Blades of Glory recently, again, for like the 19th time. It's still as good as it ever was.
I think it gets better. It gets better with time.
Like fine wine.
Chazz Michaels is an ice-devouring sex tornado spun into the hellfires of Motown.
It's like, I don't even remember Stockholm. I remember Boston, though.
And it was as sweet as the cream pie that town was named on.
Yeah.
Come on, Stockholm, get on your feet. I don't remember Oslo.
Yeah, that's what it was, Oslo. I don't even remember Oslo. I remember Boston, though.
I love the interview. Yeah, you want to call being a 9-year-old with a 35-year-old girlfriend trouble. These diaper bags, I used to make them for Faith Hill.
Ice-devouring sex tornado.
You went platinum with his poem or his poetry. Let me put my poems in you. Hey, Nancy Kerrigan, you an official here? You've officially given me a boner.
Dude, I saw that movie when I was like, it came out like 2008, so I was 11. I saw that movie for my birthday with a group of my friends from my hockey team, and my mom took us because we needed, obviously we didn't drive or anything, so she took us to the theater. Yep. And we're leaving the movie. We thought it was the funniest thing in the world, and we're like all quoting it. And I remember quoting that scene, like, Nancy Kerrigan, "You an official here?" And we kept going, "'Cause you've officially given me a boner." Oh. So we're all quoting this, essentially saying boner, like not knowing what the hell it means or like what's going on. And my mom's probably up there just like, Jesus Christ, like, what did I just do? She's probably like, shut up, stop saying that. We're idiot kids. Innocent.
What a great movie. What a great show. Speaking of shows, as always, we want to thank you for listening to Slangin The Bizkit. We are episode 41. We've been doing this since April of 2021. Now welcome to 2022. New year, same pile of shit. Speaking of piles of shit. Speaking of piles of shit, how about me and Pat Shea tell everybody about the viewers of the week who are not... Anyway, we'll transition here. So we got, as always, we have viewers of the week. If you're on the video version, if you're on the audio version, maybe you're listening to the car, you're watching the video version on YouTube, you're at the gym. Apparently people are listening to our podcast at the gym, which is really kind of cool.
We motivate
You want to be, apparently, I don't know how, but apparently we are. So we just want to say thank you. Yeah, if you are at the gym, whatever you're doing. And if you want to be viewer of the week, send me a message on Instagram, send me an email, or send Pat a message, except Pat will take like 12 business days to get back to you. I'll get back to you probably the same day, if not next day. And just give us a reason why. We'll make you viewer of the week, if that's cool with everybody.
Can we talk to this person right now who's in the gym listening to us? Like we're in their ears right now, right? They're at the gym. Like, let's chat with them. Like, how you doing? Like, I hope they're mid squat. Like, if they're going down for a squat right now and we're just thinking about it, like, that's it, buddy. You can do it. Touch that ass to the grass. Get that ass on your grass. Maybe there's a thorn bush on the grass and it accidentally goes up your ass. Thorn bush, grass to ass, and your squats. And now I hope you're squatting and you're thinking of me at the bottom. So I hope your squat's going well.
Look to the girl in the Lululemon sweats right to your left. Go ask her out.
Uh-oh. You put too much weight in the bar and you just farted at the bottom of the squat. And you thought she didn't notice. She noticed. She doesn't want you anymore.
And because you have the mentality of a 5-year-old, you heard the fart, thought it was funny, and shit even more.
Yeah. You ever do that? You ever do that? Like when you're squatting at the gym and you just rip ass at the bottom of the squat, you're like, fuck.
Dude, I'll do one better. Have you ever shit your pants on the ice, like mid-ice session?
No, I actually have never done that. I don't think even as a kid, I don't think I did that.
You know, recently, I'm not going to say when, because I don't want people going back to the vlog and be like, that was the moment he did it. You know what I mean? I don't want to like incriminate myself or anything. But it happened a couple weeks ago. I was like transitioning from post to post, like in my reverse VH, which for those listening to Pat's audience, that's like a butterfly in your post. And so I slide into my post, I plant my anchoring leg into the ice, and I squeeze the post to try to maintain like a nice tight seal. And when I did, I farted. And honest to God, because like I had the mentality of a 5-year-old, I thought it was funny. And so I started laughing a little harder, and then I ended up shitting my pants.
Wow. Did you at least wipe?
No, I had to finish practice and then deal with it after. Dude,
Trav. That's terrible, man.
Dude, you know what? Hold on, it gets worse. We have like the most amazing equipment trainer ever. Like this guy is just he sharpens skates incredibly. He does laundry. He does so many good things. I felt so bad because I did what I did my shorts and I put it at the bottom of the laundry pile so he wouldn't notice, and then
dude, that's bad, man.
What's wrong with me?
You didn't have to share that, you know. You chose to do that.
I just wanted to be. Anyway, you know what? Let's do some viewers of the week because we appreciate everybody. Let's say my dad's gonna listen to this. I raised that son. Damn it. Anyway,
God bless him, the equipment manager. God bless him.
Shall we? Viewers of the week.
Okay. Rile him off.
So we have Braden. He wanted to say that he was sitting in the Olive Garden, carb loading, and blasting the podcast. You're welcome for the free advertisement, boys. By the way, I'm 17.
Ooh.
It's good. I wonder who picked up the bill at the Olive Garden to be 17.
Yeah, maybe works, newspapers, OnlyFans. Maybe like he's a kid. Maybe he's creative. Maybe he's an entrepreneur. He makes money.
He's hustling at the Olive Garden.
Yeah.
We also got Mark from Scotland, and he said, I want to be viewer of the week because I want to rip Pat and tell him, please get some wireless AirPods. So that,
yeah. Whatever. Our team gave us like Skull Crush wireless.
Skull Candy.
Pods.
Skull Candy.
Yeah, Skull Candy. And it was way too delayed, and it didn't work when I was trying to sync them. So I don't know. Here I am with the wires again. There's no
also,
issue.
we got Higgy. This guy has been bugging me for a couple of weeks to be viewer of the week. I apologize, buddy. He said, I want to know, am I the only guy that messages you guys back about the podcast when I listen? No, there are multiple people who message me about the podcast every week with different feedback. They want to be viewers of the week, whatnot. But we appreciate everybody. I'm sure Pat has like 30 DMs that still haven't been read since October. So we're working on it. Sorry. George, his real name is Tyler. I don't know why I penciled that in. He's 10 episodes in. He loves it. Shout out to you, buddy. Justin Scores said he wants to be viewer of the week because he's helping us keep the lights on. That's fact-based. The lights are on still, so God bless you, my friend. We got Mark Quinn. He said, I told him to listen to the podcast, and then he sends me a screenshot that he's listened to every episode, all 40, now soon to be 41, 2 hours later. So he didn't, BS it or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, Mark listened to every episode. So God bless you, my friend. That's all of our viewers of the week. Also, I wanted to point out a little fact that I found. So to date, between YouTube and the audio version, Spotify, Apple, Google, 50% of our listeners are coming from the United States of America, so God bless you. 38% are coming from Canada. I mean, the whole country's locked down, so you got nothing else to do right now except listen to our podcast. So hopefully when you get your rights back, you'll turn the podcast on still. 6% from Sweden. I'm going to go give myself a pat on the back for that 6% because I don't think anybody in Sweden follows Pat outside of our guest for next week.
I have a couple.
Next week's guest. We'll get to that in a second, though. And then 2% in the UK. So,
My boys. That's awesome. Those are my boys.
In the UK?
Yes. I know them.
Personally.
I'm going to take credit for those.
But yeah, I just want to say again, thank you to everybody for being viewer of the week. If you're listening to the podcast, you want to be viewer of the week, send me a message. We appreciate your support a lot. It's been 41 episodes, and we've gone from a podcast that just like we didn't know what we were doing to now kind of like we're kind of slowly finding our feet, our footing. We're getting exciting guests. That like a story I kind of mentioned a little bit last week in last week's viewer episode or viewer special episode was Dylan Garand, goalie for the Kamloops Blazers, Team Canada starting goalie this year, the World Juniors, the backup last year. He messaged me. When did we do behind the cage, Pat?
That was about a little over a year ago. It was January of 2021. Yeah.
Yeah. So anybody new? So Pat had a podcast. Behind the cage. He asked me, "Hey, you want to come on the podcast?" Because I think Pat was pretty much scraping the well dry for guests. So I said, "Sure." We did an episode, and Dylan messaged me, "Hey, man, podcast was really great, really funny, really enjoyed it," and kind of got the balls rolling in my head, Manscaped balls in my head rolling, thinking, "Oh, maybe we should do something." And then 3 months later, boom, we got the podcast, and now we're off and rolling. We got about between the audio and the video version, we're getting about 3,000. A little under 4,000 every single week. So to everybody listening, thank you very much. We appreciate your support.
Bless you. Speaking of Olive Garden, are you a fan of Olive Garden?
I do. I like the fact that you can just have like unlimited breadsticks and just carb load, bury like 30 of them, and then by the time your entree comes, and then you just say, "Oh, I'll take it to go. I'm good." Because you just bury all the breadsticks, but you can't get the breadsticks if you skip the dishes. You know what I mean? Because they're unlimited, so you just keep shoveling them until you're full. Take your entree and you go.
When I was when my girl was in town here right before the holiday, we was post game. I was like, "Hey, where should we go?" I was like, "Olive Garden. Let's go to the Garden. Let's go to the Garden and get some salad." And I was just kind of like a little like spacey, like just played a game, whatever, just like not really all there. You ever have that where like you might not be fully engaged in the convo with your girl by accident? You're kind of like on your phone, like a little spacey. But maybe that's me because my attention span. I don't know. But anyways, first she comes in, she's never been there, and she's all like, the guy comes up and he's like,
hold on. Can I back you up for a second? Can you introduce her to the program? Give us a description, height, weight, birth year, eye color, employment status, all that kind of stuff. Just give us a nice little description so everybody knows, especially in the auto version.
She's 5'10". She's tall. She's a little.
Wait, whoa! Taller than you?
A little bit shorter than me.
Okay.
A little bit, just a tad.
Can she wear heels? Can she wear heels with you?
Nope.
Okay. No. All right.
She wore boots over Christmas break, and she was taller than me. So I was like, oh, well, okay. Let's not wear those.
I just got a piece of paper slid to me under the desk. It turns out every time she picks up a pair of heels, she gets a matching phone book for Pat to stand on their date nights.
Yeah. So that's an interesting thing. My mom said, Pat, it takes confidence to go out with a tall girl. I said, yeah, you're right, Mom. I am super confident. Thank you for those words of wisdom. So everyone talking some shit right now, I'm a confident guy. How about that? And yeah, that's about all I'll tell you about her physically.
Age? When she born?
She's my age. She's 24.
Religion? She what's she into?
I think Christian Catholic.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
I know so. That's what she was growing up with.
Okay. Employment history? What's she do?
She's a teacher. She just graduated as got her student teaching shit. Early education. She is, so she can.
Okay.
She can teach 5. Me.
She's got patience, which is an essential skill with Pat Shea.
We often do role play where she's my teacher and I've been the naughty student who needs some extra time in office hours, and we haven't done that, but I want to. I do want to do that. That'd be fun. I just got to convince her. I'll add that to my list. But anyways, yeah, we went to Olive Garden after my game.
Oh yes, the Olive Garden. That's why we're talking about this. Okay.
I wasn't giving her on my full attention. I guess sometimes I'm guilty of that. I have a spacey mind sometimes, rolling all over the place. Whatever. I'm my dad's texting me about the game. I'm showing I'm looking at video. People are texting me things, and then the guy comes. He's like, "Hey, soup or salad?" And she's like, wait, I don't want that. I'm like, no, you it's on the house. You just get grab either one. And she's like, I don't, wait, what? It's what is house? What's the house salad? I'm like, I don't know. It's on the house. Just you don't want it? Well, I'll get it. But I was kind of not really. And she's like, oh shit, what is he talking about? Thinking I'm mad at her. I'm like, listen, just get a fucking salad. Get the soup or the salad. Doesn't matter. I'll eat it. I'll eat both. Whatever.
More for me.
Yeah. As time goes on, and I guess I don't know. So in her head, she tells me after we leave Olive Garden, she's like, hey, are we okay? Are we good? I'm like, yeah. What are you talking about? She's like, I don't know. I thought you were about to break up with me. And I'm like, no. Why'd you think that? She's like, I don't know. You were not. You kind of seemed off at Olive Garden, you weren't really there, and you were yelling at me about the soups and the salads. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's my bad. I didn't. I would know. She's so in her head, she's like, damn it, this is it. He's about to break up with me. In my head, I'm just like, damn, I love these fucking breadsticks. So that was just a recent Olive Garden encounter I had.
I gotta ask, what kind of soup are you? You like a broth or a cream-based soup?
I'm not actually a soup guy. I go with the salad there. I don't really.
What?
Yeah, I don't really care for soup. It's just I'd rather drink Gatorade, than eat soup. Soup, I don't know. Soup's okay.
Dude, it's winter. It's soup season.
Soupy.
I've been hammering down on soups for the last 2 months. I've been buried.
You name it, I made it. Do you put crackers in your soup?
No. I don't do that. I make my soup good enough. You don't eat crackers.
See, when I was younger, I used to eat a lot of soup. In high school, I would eat, I don't know, it was Campbell's chicken noodle soup or maybe meatball soup. I don't know what the fucking Progresso, whatever it is. And I would take a full sleeve of crackers, and also I would put the cracker in and constantly eat the cracker. I would go through the full sleeve in my soup. So I was carb loading for sure.
See, the cracker's good. I'll tell you what's even better than the cracker and soup is a grilled cheese sandwich.
Did you say crack is good or cracker is the crackers are good?
Well, both depending on what's seasonally available. But I'm talking about a nice grilled cheese sandwich in tomato soup. A nice little tomato bisque.
I don't like tomato soup. That's my I like soup. Don't eat it often, but I don't like tomato soup.
Well, do you like butternut squash?
I don't know.
I make great butternut squash soup.
Okay, maybe I'll try your soup.
Maybe broccoli and cheddar too.
I that sounds good. I like.
How about a potato and corn chowder?
I haven't had that.
How about cream of celery, a little cream of onion, cream of sweet onion?
I have not gotten involved in the soup game.
See, you've been living off Campbell's. My soup game is tight though. We're talking tomato, we're talking asparagus, we're talking broccoli, celery, onion, cream of carrot and ginger. Are you kidding me?
I didn't realize you were the soup guy. You're the
soup guy.
You're a super guy. You know all the soups. I didn't know that about you. Now I know. So now if I have any questions about soup, I'll go to you. I need a recipe.
Soups and sauces, baby. It's in the job description.
So yeah, guys, DM Trav about soups and DM me about beans. Obviously, I eat beans instead of soup. So, anyways, on to like relevant topics.
Yes. we should dabble in some type of hockey news so we can still claim we're a hockey podcast.
Yes.
You want to go on our guests, our upcoming guests we got coming on, and then the World Juniors a little bit?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so we have had, collectively as a podcast, we've had a very exciting couple days of progress with guests. We got Garret Sparks, Sparky, former Toronto Maple Leaf, Calgary Flame, Vegas Golden Knight, now LA King. Used to have beef with the guy. Him and I, we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things the past 4 or 5 years, but floated a DM his way, said, hey, you want to come on the podcast? He said, I will come on at the end of the season, April, May, whatnot, because I'm assuming the Kings aren't going to make the playoffs. Not him, I am, so the media doesn't attack him like they always do. And he said, I'll come on the podcast on one condition. I want to absolutely light you up with chirps in the podcast. And I said, sign me up. We'll do it. If that's what it takes to get you on, you can unload on me for about 10 minutes and then we'll get into the program. And so that's the condition that Garret Sparks wanted to come on.
Pause. You're going to let this man unload on you for how long? 10 minutes?
It's more than...
That's overwhelming. That is overwhelming. I don't know what that's like. Does this guy think he's like the guy that was just he had this big story because he was in the coast and made his way back to NHL, right?
That's the guy, Garret Sparks. Yeah, that's the guy.
Is he that good at chirping that he thinks he can just come on here and roast your shit, like roast
you know
like
what's
a
funny?
fucking potato?
The funny part about Garret Sparks and me is that like, from my perspective, like him and I are so similar, like just personality wise, the way we see, like, and I'm not talking like goaltending wise, just like the way we see life, the way we see things, our mentalities and stuff. So like, it's kind of like me going up against myself. Like I like to chirp, he likes to chirp, like I'm opinionated, he's opinionated, you know what I mean? Like, so like, there's a lot of things like maybe we don't see eye to eye on because we're just misunderstanding each other. So I think it would be a great podcast. I really do. I know he's got some choice words for me. I got some choice words for him. Yeah. We're both passionate about hockey. We both love goaltending, and we're our hearts on our sleeves. We don't BS. So I think that'd be a really, really great podcast.
I'll be the middle guy. You know how like the celebrities do those shows? They sit at a table. Like there's a person in the middle sometimes, and there's the two people sitting at the tables. And they stare at each other eye to eye, and they just insult each other. Mm-hmm. We should do a little round of that. You guys just look at each other through the screen. We'll have a virtual, like, one by one, you guys insult each other so you can take it. So
I'm just picturing McGregor and Jose Aldo with Dana White in the middle, and he's like, tell him I'm his daddy. Sit on my lap. Sit on my lap. Tell him I am his daddy.
That is funny shit.
So, yeah, Garret Sparks sometime in the spring, which is exciting. A little ways away, but excited to get him on the podcast and just talk about his journey and whatnot. We also got, for next week, we have Victor Ostman. I got to figure that out by the time he comes on next week. But I got a couple times. Yeah, I got a couple days. Starting goalie for the University of Maine, Swedish guy. You're going to notice I got a thing for Swedish guys, and that's going to carry on probably throughout the calendar year. So he's going to come on. He's been a very interesting guy just from our my DMs with him, so he's going to come on next week. The week after that, now this is a guest that I think really I'm excited about. So if anybody followed online, Simon Lakatsi, he's the starting goalie for Slovakia, and everybody at the World Juniors last week was very polite. Thank you, IIHF, for the opportunity, the propaganda that you're supposed to spew. This guy said, "F that, excuse my language, sorry." He said, you know what, the IIHF screwed the pooch. They f***ed us from the beginning. This was a poorly run tournament. They're lazy. Right. They all this shit. And he unloaded on them. And this dude, I think, got like double the likes on his post, and he had followers. Like, so he went off on them.
Yeah.
So I sent him a DM. Would you like to come on the podcast? Never heard back. I got a message from somebody who claimed to be his friend. Said, you should get him on the podcast. I said, tell him to DM me back. Within 2 minutes, coming on the podcast. So he's coming on not next week, but the week after. So in 2 weeks, he's going to come on. He just needs to reset from the World Juniors and whatnot. So that's exciting.
From my perspective, he is voicing the majority there with the players involved in the World Juniors, and the rest of the guys are kind of obviously afraid to say what they're feeling. And he kind of,
you know what, I respect it though. Like, do you feel the same way? You respect him for just putting his 2 cents out there.
I do, because no one wants to be that guy. Like, everyone knows like what they're thinking, and behind scenes and offline, they're all talking to each other like this is bullshit. This is the dumbest thing ever. Like, what are they doing? Canceling this. Meanwhile, on social media, they're not going to say that. You know, they don't want to look like that guy. This kid, he said, "Fuck it," and went on Instagram and just ripped the whole fucking tournament. I read it. I was like kind of laughing, but also like, damn, yeah, he's making some good points here. I wasn't there, but he's
making a lot of good points, and just I'm not going to name names. I had multiple DMs from multiple players at the tournament, and that was the unanimous feeling and opinion. Although those players all made the thank you, Double IHF, great tournament, all that BS. But like I know, like I read the messages you sent me, dog. I saw that you weren't like I saw what was going on. I know what was going on, you know. Yeah. But guys don't want to cost themselves an opportunity. Anyway, so he's going to be on in 2 weeks, and then the following week will be Dylan Garand, starting goalie for Team Canada. He messaged me last night and told me that he was boring. I said, well, we'll find a way to get some stories out here or something. So he's going to come on.
He's shy.
Yeah, you know, we got to crack that nut, but we got about 50 minutes to do so. Yeah. That's the only stipulation. We'll crack
his nuts. Yeah, for sure.
So, worst case, we can just make fun of him for the whole podcast if he ends up being boring.
Yeah, we'll just shit on him, figuratively shit on him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, what was your reaction when you saw the World Cup was canceled? What was your initial response, reaction?
World Junior Championship?
Sorry, World Juniors, that's what I meant. My apologies.
Yeah, so I was not surprised at all. Obviously, if you've been listening to the podcast for more than one episode, you know I have multiple connections to the World Juniors, and I was getting messages like 2 and 3 days before they canceled. Was like, I don't know how this tournament's going to finish just on like what I'm seeing and what I'm observing is what I'm being told. Like, one of the players messaged me and was like, dude, they're having like weddings downstairs. They got like hundreds of people like downstairs in the hotel. They're coming up and down the stairs. Kids are knocking on our door and shit like that. Like, and I'm thinking, okay, like if you're testing for the sniffles like 3 times a day and all that shit's happening, like you want to talk about a shit run tournament. And also on top of that, the fact that like the World Juniors was supposed to be in Sweden this year, which we're politics aside, Sweden is the most open, free country in the world, probably as far as the COV restrictions. So in my opinion, there's no better place to host it than Sweden because the tournament's not going to get shut down. But instead, you go to fucking communist Canada where you get 3 sniffles and they're throwing you in jail, writing you up for a $5,000 fine. Like it's a miracle they even got the tournament off the ground. So to answer your question, I was not surprised when they canceled it because I already had the inside info. Not a big deal, humble brag. But just from an outside perspective too, I was like, I don't know how they're going to get this done. So what were you thinking?
Well, I saw the post that came out, but was it USA? It was like they had to like forfeit a game or something because they had a few cases.
Yeah, because like half the games one day were all like USA forfeited to Switzerland, Slovakia forfeited one, I think, and then Russia forfeited. Like half the teams forfeited games.
So I saw that and I was like, ooh, that doesn't sound good, because I was just in Canada where they're much more strict on rules, I guess, and the whole thing. So I kind of had a feeling like, oh, this might go downhill. I think it's kind of, I don't know who to blame, but it's kind of ridiculous. Like the fact that, like, yes, of course, there's big outbreaks everywhere, and a lot of people are getting, but you can bleep out what I said. The
we'll
swear word there. But the fact that they were able to do it last year when it was much worse, like it was still in like before any, like anything, like there was the world was still closed down, everything was still restricted, and they were managed to pull it off then, and then this year, the world's back open a bit, and they failed. So I think that doesn't look good on them. I think it sucks, kind of pretty bullshit for the players, obviously, because it's like once in a lifetime thing. Like I never got to do that. Like if I was able to do that, that's a once in a lifetime thing for guys, and it just got like canceled. That sucks. I'm sure it feels similar to like my senior year getting canceled. Like it was pretty heartbreaking. So I'm sure that they're pretty frustrated. I don't know. I don't agree. I think they could have had figured out a way to make it work, and they just kind of dropped the ball.
I think too, just like the fact that the tournament was going to be in Sweden, and then you said, we'll do it in Canada again, because and I get the perspective. Like they're thinking, okay, We're not going to have anybody in the stands. It's always bigger when it's in Canada. We'll just put it on TV. Okay, I understand that, but like if you want to host the games, like because they're going to be in Stockholm at the Globe Arena. I think it was the Globe Arena, like the big arena with like the red seats and shit. You have like 10,000 plus people, whatever. Just leave it there. Like at the point when they started the tournament, it was still 100% capacity in Sweden. I think now it's down to like 75 or like 80% capacity as of right now. But still, that's like 8,000 people in the stands. Like that's a great tournament to host, and they'll finish the tournament. So, like you said, just disappointing. And I was honestly looking forward to it. It gave me something to look forward to watch on TV. Like I wanted to. Like I got nothing. Like I can't watch half the TV shows and channels in Sweden because they're all in Swedish, and then the World Juniors I still can't understand them because they're in Swedish. But I watch the game and I understand because we only have like 3 hockey channels here. So and I watch games on Saturday. That's it. So
yeah, it's shitty. They knew going in that it was like a whatever long it's a tournament. You know, it's X amount of games, X amount of weeks long. They should have planned to isolate them if they knew like there was breakouts and stuff. Like I don't know, I feel like that's just unfortunate.
Just a poorly run tournament,
but
just a very poorly run.
Shit happens, life goes on, and I guess that's the only way that they can look at it. But yeah,
like Forrest Gump, shit happens, Lieutenant Dan. Life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Have you ever thought about that saying when Forrest Gump tells him life's like a box of chocolates? That makes no sense.
No, well, it doesn't, but it does. Well, they never know.
You know what you're
buying.
Get. No.
Well, no. Do you not get the? Do you know like you've never had a box of chocolates like the fancy box of chocolates?
I understand the box of chocolates. You don't know what you're gonna get, but like if you flip the box over, it'll tell you what you're gonna get. You know what you're gonna get.
No, but you
don't
can't
know everything.
Really tell. You can't tell which one's which. You have to like really like look. Be like, okay, is this one this one? You know what I mean? Like this box of chocolates, like you kind of grab one and then you find out what it is by eating it.
Yeah, okay, I just ruined Forrest Gump. Sorry. You want to move on to the next topic before I ruin Christmas too for next year?
Yeah, let's talk about Jake Paul's flopping pay-per-view numbers.
Yeah. Could we just talk about the Dana White thing? I don't use cocaine.
Yeah. No, it's great. And he wants to test him for steroids.
Yeah, which is great. So to back things up, biggest knockout of the year, Willie versus Jake Paul?
In what sense?
Just biggest knockout and fight game in the last calendar year.
Yeah, maybe so.
That and Usman versus Masvidal might have been the biggest knockout, just out cold, hit the deck.
Oh, in that sense, yeah, potentially.
Just out cold and just right on the deck.
The Masvidal one was pretty
deadly,
vicious, like Usman on Masvidal. Ngannou, no, that was last year. That was last December. Mm-hmm. No, that was in March. Nganou's knockout was in March.
Yep, that's still part of the calendar year, 2021.
Yeah, but honestly, it is up there as vicious knockouts go. Like he flatlined him.
Like, and that angle from underneath, just like you see the sweat bounce off him and the sound. Like, oh, that was like that was.
Do you know who filmed that? Joyner Lucas. Do you know who that is? The rapper?
No idea. No.
He's pretty successful hip hop artist, but he was like sitting down there and just had his phone out, got that sick angle, and it sounded bad. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it was a great fight. I'm gonna be honest too. Like, I feel like Christmas time is a terrible time for a fight. Like, am I wrong?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe.
I feel like with the COV running around, everybody's like all scared and shit to like watch. I know it doesn't make sense because it was happening in Florida. Christmas time, people are spending with their families. Like, I feel like December is just a bad time. Like, maybe January would have been better.
I think.
How many pay-per-views did they get for the first fight? Like 1 million or 700,000?
Like I think like 500K.
Okay, and then they dropped down like 65K. And granted, it was Tommy Fury, and then he pulls out. But
so that was misleading. Everyone just ran with it. It's misleading. It didn't do very well. So the 65K is TV, cable TV pay-per-view buys. So, which someone calculated like the first time around, like the 500K, like it's like roughly like a fourth to a fifth of Jake Paul's like viewership comes from the cable TV pay-per-view strictly. Then the rest of people they're either doing like the app, Showtime app, whatever they're doing to get the fight. So it's like 65K times like 4 or 5.
Okay.
Which would I think I'm saying that right. Yeah.
Yeah, so 300,000. So still roughly, about half.
Yeah. So roughly 300K, let's say, which is okay, but not great. But it's kind of expected if you think about like the first one did 500 whatever K, and it was pretty boring.
Yeah, it was kind of a shit fight.
Pretty boring. So then Jake Paul won by decision. So people are like, "Oh, Tommy Fury's out. Oh, he's fighting Woodley again." No one wanted to see it again.
Yeah.
And he just happened to have a big knockout, which might help him in his next fight.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Fury one would have done better.
But Tommy wasn't promoting it though. Like Tommy was, like, it didn't feel like he was promoting it, and the whole John Fury, like it felt like it was John Fury versus Jake Paul, like
for sure.
And the shit he was saying was so cringy, dude. It was so cringy.
Yeah, no, they didn't do like a good press conference promotion for it, like in person. I think they should have done that. That being said, UK has some pretty loyal fans, especially to like the Furies, and a lot of people in UK love boxing. Would love to see this idiot Jake Paul get knocked out. I think and it was like the first time he's fighting a real boxer, so all the Americans were like, okay, he's fighting a boxer, let's see how. Yeah, I think it just would have done better, and when he pulled out, it was like, oh, no one wants to see Willie again.
Yeah,
but it does kind of put a damper on his name in a sense, because I feel like, you get like a guy like McGregor. If McGregor gets like someone to pull out, it doesn't really matter the opponent as much. Like McGregor would probably still do 1 million pay-per-view buys.
As long as McGregor doesn't pull out, you're good.
Yeah, so it's tough. It was definitely a tough look. I don't know, because he was making it seem like he was like, McGregor level pay-per-view draw, like
moving the needle, and then all of a sudden just splat.
Yeah, so Dana was shitting on him about that.
Yeah, that was interesting. Then again, like because Jake calls out, I want to fight McGregor, Masvidal, Canelo, guys like that. And then Masvidal's like, keep my name out of your mouth. I'm doing you offer me $5 million. I want $20 million. Otherwise, I ain't gonna think about fighting you.
Yeah.
And then, because then Dana said he was full of shit. He's on steroids. Yeah. Jake says you're on cocaine. You underpay your fighters. I want to get your guys some healthcare coverage. I want to double your fighter pay. And then, so long story short, Jake Paul is like, I will fight in the UFC. I'll fight Masvidal for a 1-fight deal, on the condition that you give guys real pay. And it, actually, in my viewpoint, from just based on what I see, if they can actually make that deal work, I think it might be really, really good, because it's a way to kind of get all the fighters back on Jake Paul's side, if that makes sense. Like, look, I got you healthcare, I got you more pay, all this kind of stuff. The big dogs like the Masvidals and the McGregors, they don't really care, but like the smaller guys will really support him for that, I think. And then people get to see him fight Jorge Masvidal, and like I can't see in what world Jake Paul isn't done after like 13 seconds, or like another bad Ben Askren knee to the face, a flying knee.
Maybe, man. It's a strict boxing match, because it's so different. Like,
is it going to be boxing? I thought the deal was.
Well, yeah.
Because Jake offered a boxing match, and then the counter was you come to the UFC for 1 fight. Was that not the deal?
No, you're right. If Dana did all these things.
Mm-hmm. Because I know he was going to sign a UFC deal on the condition that they could only box, but I would just lose my marbles if that's what they agree to, and then Masvidal puts him in an arm bar 30 seconds in. Yeah,
no, it's like, especially if it happened anywhere besides a boxing ring, it's just bad luck. Masvidal, like, I would never bet against Masvidal. It's just the fact that like we've never seen Masvidal box strictly boxing, like with those rules. It's different. I don't know. It's just like, but he does have good boxing. Where like Woodley doesn't have good boxing. Woodley has a good overhand right, and that was all he ever had. So it'd be a better fight. The only thing that like Jake has going is I think he's a bit bigger than Masvidal.
Yeah, similar size. Those 6 feet and 6'1".
Yeah, but like Jake's like 210.
Walks around he's like a big boy. Masvidal's like 190.
Yeah, probably like. Walks around out of shape like 190. Cuts down, probably like in shape probably is like 180s. I'd say, because he used to fight at 55.
Yeah, but he was having those hard cuts, the 20-pound cuts in like a week.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, I'd like to see it for entertainment purpose, but now they're knowing he's not a draw on his own, so they're kind of losing interest. It took a hit. Like Masvidal's like, don't fucking say my name now, you're not even a draw.
Like the second they get anything on Jake Paul, they're gonna put it right in his face.
Yeah, I don't love it for McGregor to do that, the boxing match with him, because like, yes, McGregor boxing wise will outbox Jake Paul all day long, but like he's so much smaller than him that it's like what if he can't knock him out because he's so much smaller,
Yeah.
Then it starts looking bad if like Jake catches him, or like later rounds because he's so much bigger. It's just like, I don't see it worth it for a guy like McGregor to do that ever. Like, he has enough money where I don't, like, why would he do it?
I'm at the point where I just love watching all the fights. I honestly, like the Jake Paul fights, whatever extra boxing fights I can catch, the MMA fights too, especially like, obviously like, I'm not watching like Dustin Poirier, Charles Oliveira, because like it's late night. I'll watch the Jake Paul one, but I won't watch the Poirier ones. I'll catch the highlights, but just like, that was a great fight. The Usman Covington was a great fight. Like, there's just, I just love watching MMA. Like,
it's fun. It's entertaining.
It's exciting. Like, you're on the edge of your seat because at any point somebody could break a face, break a leg. Somebody could die at any point in the fight. Like, you never, like, honestly, like, that's what excites me, as opposed to like some of the other, I guess, hockey right now, where it's just kind of boring. This is why I've been telling people online, like, Slangin The Bizkit will be your favorite hockey podcast that never talks about hockey. Hockey's gotten boring.
Dude, yeah, I know. You made a comment on someone's post. I think you tagged me. Yeah, because like, Jake Paul is more entertaining than the hockey, than the NHL. And people are giving you shit. I'm like, you guys are crazy if you think differently. Like,
because people are just so used to it.
Like, if they think, because they're like so diehard hockey that they're like, they have a false reality of what's going on. Like, there's in no world is the NHL more entertaining than Jake Paul. Like, that's just,
well, like, I don't know what you,
everything he does.
Well, I remember as a kid, and I don't know if you were the same way, but like, when I was a kid, like, you always think like hockey's the most exciting, hockey's the be all end all, because you're a kid, you don't understand anything, you don't know any better. But like, as you get older and you start seeing the world for what it is, you really start like picking people apart and picking like little things like that up. You're like, hockey just kind of bores me. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing in the NHL that makes me say, I have to watch this game. Like, I'll watch a little bit of the playoffs. I'll watch the cup final when that happens. But like, outside of that,
it's different.
I don't really care.
No, I'm kind of similar. It's different because, like, as a kid, it's very exciting. You kind of have that, like,
this is new too, right?
Huh?
Well, it's new as well, right?
Yeah. You kind of have that, like, delusional, like, Christmas, like, Santa thing, It's, like, super exciting. Everything's crazy. But, like, no, and I agree. But in terms of, like, sports, like, I think hockey, like, the sport of hockey is more exciting than other sports. In comparison to like the UFC, or it's not even close. And I think a lot of sports just kind of like, they're not that exciting. They don't do as, like, the UFC is doing something right. Obviously, it's easier to promote the excitement of the sport itself. But like, they're promoting and doing shit differently, and it's working. Like, it's
and especially when you allow guys to have personality. Like, dude, Dan Hooker has to have the tweet of the year. Do you see that tweet about John Jones?
I did see that.
Oh my God! So obviously we're a hockey podcast. Allow me to explain. So, John Jones gets arrested for beating up his wife. What was it? A month ago, give or take.
It's out of context.
Sorry,
we don't really know what happened, but allegedly he may have hit his wife.
And then he also got a DUI, right? That was also okay. So just not a very good look, and it's not the first time this has happened. He's been busted for steroids. John Bones Jones, been in the game for a while. He's very controversial. And then, so anyway, Chael Sonnen, probably the top content producer on YouTube for the whole MMA game behind Michael Bisping. He's out at a hotel and just beats the shit out of 5 guys who were, apparently they weren't assaulting his wife, but they were like verbally abusing her, saying some nasty things, and he just beat the shit out of 5 guys. Like, the guy's literally a trained weapon. He's an MMA fighter. Like, that guy will murder you. And so he beats up the 5 guys, and there's this video on TMZ going viral of him getting dragged out of the hotel by the cops with his shirt off, because obviously he's been in a fight. And then Dan Hooker from the rafters comes in. Imagine, and I think he tweets at John Jones.
Yeah, because John was talking about it. Like, John
was talking about it, yeah.
When it first happened, he's like, I'm not going to talk shit about how Chael just got, like, blah, blah, blah. And you can go carry on.
Yeah, and then Dan Hooker from the top or from the rafters says, Hey, John, just imagine beating up 5 people in one night. Not one of them is your wife.
Yeah, I think I saw one that was like Chael beats someone up for his wife. John beat up his wife or something like that. Like people are laying into him. Not a good look.
Not a good look, and all, not to make fun of domestic violence and whatnot, but like it's just funny, like just ripping on the guy. He's a UFC fighter and he beats up his wife as opposed to another guy who defends.
There's not really lines. Like they just say whatever the fuck they want, and like Dana lets them, and I think that's the beauty of it. He wants it. He likes it. He knows that it's going to create attention. He knows, even though, and then he pretends like he doesn't approve of it. Like this is like bullshit. They said that, like blah blah blah. Like when Connor's misbehaving, he gives the whole speech about Connor. Like he doesn't. He fucking loves it. He knows it's bringing in ratings. Like when Connor threw the fucking Dolly off the bus, all this shit. He's going to jail. He's pretending like this is unacceptable. He belongs in jail. Meanwhile, he's like fucking rights. Like
he's like checking the stock count, just go up every like 20 minutes.
Pay-per-view is gonna be unbelievable, and it was. It was the best one they've ever had.
Imagine he gives him a call afterwards. He's like,
yeah.
Can you do that again, but like don't get arrested? Is like you can do that again, like sometime in September.
Yeah. It's great stuff.
Yeah.
Amazing we have time left here. Do you want to dive into the Florida thing for the ending?
Yeah. What you want? Why don't we do it right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which aspect of Florida? We love Florida. God bless Florida and Ron DeSantis.
You wanted to title it about my like Panthers thing.
Oh shit! Yes, I forgot about that. Yeah. So, people have asked me, and obviously, it's something that I've obviously been curious about. Pat was drafted by the Florida Panthers, and McDavid's draft class, 2015, right?
Yep, me and Connor.
Yep, same draft class as McDavid.
Us.
And drafted by the Panthers. People want to know: are you still with the Panthers? Are you signed? When's the big ticket coming? When are you playing for the Panthers?
Yeah, I have explained it on my YouTube channel, but it seems like tough for people to grasp. Like I actually got a comment like recently. I think when I did reacting to my first pro game or whatever, someone's comment is like, "You went from a draft pick into the ECHL, like what the?" I'm like, yeah. There's also a first round draft pick on my team. Like, what was your point? What point are you making? You know what I mean? Like. So there's like a lot of people don't understand kind of how like the process works, and that like if you're not like a first round picks, even sometimes don't ever make the NHL, you know what I mean? Like, but if you're not a first few round pick, it's tough to even get a deal. But obviously I was screwed with timing with the COVID year, so I never even got like a PTO in the A after my senior year, which is like kind of like the common thing after college. As for the people that are confused by it, I will explain it, how it works. Whatever year, like, so a team drafts you, they have your rights for, I think if you're a college guy, it's 4 years or 5 years, 4 or 5 years. I want to say 5 actually. Now, if you're lighting up college and there's no reason for you to be there still, they'll take you early, might sign you to an NHL deal. Now if they're not doing that, there's no reason for them to take you out early. So I go senior year, I had a rough start because I got injured right away, so couldn't play the first like month and a half. Then I came back, played a couple games, was feeling good, scored a goal, doing well. Hurt my shoulder again, tried to play through it stupidly, wasn't good, could barely move my arm, going around like stupidly trying to play. I don't know what I was trying to prove, but obviously I'm not going to benefit myself or the team by playing. I don't know, trying to be tough and play through shit. Anyway, so the first half of the year wasn't good. I go into the second half. I actually had a pretty good second half of my senior year, and I was starting to pick it up even more as we were getting into playoffs. But at that point, it's not like a huge successful year. Like I didn't have 25, 30 points, which would be ideal. So whatever, that season ends. Now, typically a guy like me coming out of college like that, though, they would give like what is called PTO, professional tryout for like the AHL, like where like they bring me in, they kind of feel me out, see how I would do at that level. That didn't happen because of COVID. COVID struck, everything's canceled. So I never got that opportunity to show that like, okay, maybe I can play at that level or maybe get an AHL deal, you know, two-way thing, whatever. Doesn't happen. The COVID year then goes on. There's no telling when it's going to start. August comes around, and that's when I become a free agent. There's no starting of a league in sight, so I become a free agent. Now the A team in Florida got completely canceled. So it was either, okay, I'll try to get a coast deal with Florida where their whole A team is, so there really isn't spots there. Meanwhile, I got started skating in the summer with the Worcester coach, the ECHL Worcester Railers coach, and he said he would sign me. We had a talk. He liked me. He was going to sign me. So I was like, okay, this is a better opportunity rather than going to try to play there where they have no room for me, essentially. So I'm a free agent. I'll go ahead. My plan is going to sign there. That season got canceled completely. And then it's kind of caught up to where we are now. The summer happened. I was going to play in Worcester again, blah, blah, blah. I end up in Maine Mariners. Here I am today in the ECHL. Kind of just part of the process. And a lot of people are confused about it. I hope that clarified a few things for you and explained why and how I'm not affiliated or a prospect of the Panthers anymore.
And so there was no communication like with everybody being shut down. Like there was no, hey, we're gonna be waiting, we're gonna be looking to sign. It was just there's no communication. Just move on. Correct?
Yeah. Well, there was communication. It's like I had a advisor or agent, I guess, at the time, trying talking to them, and it was kind of like we don't really have many spots, and we also aren't sure we're gonna have an AHL team this year. So I was trying to push for an AHL deal, and it just wasn't looking likely, and that's shit happens, you know. So
you fire your agent?
Not fired. He actually became a GM or assistant GM or something. So he couldn't be an agent anymore, and that's just
Who
how
for?
it goes. It's actually a good question. I'm not positive.
So he just texts you like, I'm going to be a GM? Okay, bye.
Well, he communicated through my dad, actually, yeah. Well, because he was my brother's as well. Mm-hmm. And, he talked to them about it, and I just didn't follow up. It's not like he was like, you know, he was helping me, but not like overly communicating with me. It's not like I was tight with him, you know. It's kind of how it is.
I should be your agent moving forward.
Yeah, you want to be my agent? I don't have one now.
Any team you want to negotiate with, I'll walk into the meeting room with shades on and a briefcase, an empty briefcase. I'll kick down the desk, throw the briefcase at him, fill it up, walk out.
Fucking yeah, Trav's my new agent. There it is.
Breaking news, you heard it here first.
I do find it funny that like the comments where people will say shit like that, kind of like try to like chirp me as if they understand or like doing better, you know, like these guys. I'm like, yeah, okay, guys, like we're. So what was your like draft experience like? If you
well, the only thing that I'm thinking of is don't worry, Jimmy. Like I know you're like 13 years old. When you fire up the Xbox this afternoon, you can still play as me. Just everything will be fine. Don't worry, I'll still be in the game. You know, but like people don't understand. Like, so Pat and I were talking about this like right before we started recording. Like, you get this vocal minority of these like keyboard warriors who've never played the game. They aged out in Pee Wee, AA. They're telling you, "Oh, I used to be sick. Have a drink, pound back that rum or whatever," and tell you about how, I could have, been drafted in the Western League, second, third rounder maybe. I probably could have been like a seventh round show pick, but just never had the money, never had the opportunity. Like, you don't understand, dude. You don't get the game, and I'm not even saying like I get the game, because like where I stack up is like nowhere near to where Pat stacks up versus like in the pecking order of things. But just you get this vocal minority that think they know shit. And it's like, you don't know anything, dude. You never played the game. You don't know anything. Like.
Like we signed up for it in a way, like we put our life out here, like here's me, I'm the D1 athlete, and and then you look me up, I'm a Panthers draft pick, etc. Like, so I know that, like, I'm putting myself out there, so I'm not really affected I prepared for that before I even put a video out. That like people, now I'm publicizing who I am and my career. So it's like, I know there are gonna be stupid people who don't understand what it even means to be drafted or what the process of like going pro is like, and that's fine. So like, if you don't understand it and you're commenting, like, it's okay. Like, you can think whatever you want, but also like maybe look into how it works before pulling the trigger.
Well, and also it's the lack of respect. Like, if you haven't played the game, you've never been around that. You don't have that respect and understanding. Like, as opposed to like, and like I'm sure Pat gets it. Like, Pat has respect from like his fellow colleagues, like in the East Coast Hockey League for the most part, except for that guy from the 12 Riviere, Guillaume, Le Chambeau or whatever his name was. Like, maybe,
I think he respects me now. I chucked mitts with him.
You think so? Well, he's not liking your videos. He didn't like Monday's video. I'll tell you that much.
No.
Probably gave it a dislike. Probably reported you for spam. But like, people that, for the most part, like, just that they're respectful, they get, like, I don't know about you, I've never had an issue with, and I'm sure there are a few behind closed doors, but I've never had an issue with somebody who's actually played the game, just being respectful, being polite. Like, we don't, like, Garret Sparks fucking hates me, can't stomach me as a person, but respects the hustle, respects the grind, will come on the podcast and have a conversation because he respects it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just...
Yeah, it's typically people that are, like, commenting things like that or hate things. They have no understanding of like the grind or hustle. Like,
yeah, it's unfortunate
whether it's hockey or as a YouTuber, like they've never done anything in their life that required or that where they actually committed to it in that level. Mm-hmm. So they don't really get how it works. So
but you know what you can't understand is our upload schedule, because we have a new podcast for you every Thursday, 8 a.m. Eastern, 5 a.m. in Vancouver, 7 a.m. if you're in Winnipeg, Chicago, maybe who else is down there? Louisiana, same time zone. 2 p.m. in Sweden, 1 p.m. in the UK, 3 p.m. in Finland, 9 p.m. in the old China. If anybody over there in China or North Korea is listening, 9 p.m., 8 p.m. That's when the podcast is ready to go. New Zealand, Australia too, I believe 10 p.m. We want to thank you as always for listening. On behalf of Pat, Shea, and myself, it has been a pleasure to be in your car stereo, your AirPods, at the gym with you, maybe on the way to the rink for the last hour or 50 minutes, whatever it's been. Pat, Shea, take us home, sign us off until next week when we catch up with you with Victor Osman.
Cheers, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to rekindling the flame with Victor